Hi guys, just got a few interesting things to discuss. See what you make of them. So this is posersoftware.com, which is Bondware's dedicated Poser store, and as you see, it's quite inferior to the main Renderosity store, but it only sells Poser software. So it seems to me that Bondware is basically trying to create a place that has a poser only identity, which makes sense given that they also own Poser. But as long as they own one of the 2 or 3 largest stores in the world for Poser and DAZ content, and they're not forcing all Poser only software into this store, much as I appreciate that they're trying to give Poser its own retail identity, I think that it's unlikely. All they've just done now is diluted the places where you can buy, or a lot of the items in this store can also be purchased at the Renderosity store. So I'm not sure that this is really a great idea. Now, I also want to talk to you about something else. Let me just go back and sort this out by categories. And you might recall, if I go down to scripts, you might recall I laid quite heavily into this guy, Ken1171 Designs, and I implied that there was some kind of nefarious relationship between him and Bondware. And I'm still only suggesting that that might exist. I have no evidence apart from this. Uh, when I spoke to him some time ago, he said that the reason that Poser, whatever it was that Bondware bought, 11, 12, something like that, the reason that they redesigned the loader at killing a lot of old scripts was because it wasn't profitable for script writers to create scripts for Poser because they were so frequently copied. And at the time, that didn't ring true because everything on Poser gets copied and scripts are way down the list of things that get copied. And I thought that it was self-serving. And the reason I thought it was self-serving was that scripts are a way to extend the functionality of Poser without Bondware actually having to program it into Poser. So this guy's here writing his Python scripts. And at the time, I suggested that I thought that he and Bondware had a too cozy relationship, let's say, to be charitable. And I'll say no more about that, except to say this is now the Poser script store. And if you go through here, the only person selling scripts, or certainly the vast recipient of script money, is Ken. Now, I will say his scripts are pretty good. They're not excellent. They're all quirky. They all have flaws, but they're pretty good. They add functionality. I would say they add functionality that should have been in Poser in the first place. And what they've done is that Bondware, in its financially inept manner, has not only found a way to charge you 200 and something pounds for Poser when its biggest rival is giving away a better program, but they found a way to charge you for the extra functions that should already have been built into Poser. So whether they make more from this or they just make their 50% split or whatever they get from Ken sales, they basically monetized their own incompetence in terms of upgrading Poser. You'll notice that every version since they bought it, with the exception of faster rendering, has been awfully light in terms of new functionality. And when they can sell you functionality, you know, there's an old saying in the games industry, they created a problem so that they can sell you the solution. And it's only when I go to page 2, I think we find, oh no, they're not even here now. There were originally some scripts by at least one other person, but now every single thing here, every single script in the scripts library here is by Ken. So I think that my instinct was pretty right there. The only person who benefited by killing all of your old scripts was Ken, who gets to sell you new ones, and Bondware, who gets to take a cut of that. And the third thing I want to talk about is this interesting week from DAZ. So DAZ, if you're signed up to the DAZ store as a purchaser, you get sent regular marketing emails as you do from Bondware. And last week was very, very strange. If you look here, DAZ welcomes Luna 3D and Victoria. DAZ welcomes 3D Loki and Anushka. So every day last week, from Friday to Friday, they sent out one of these marketing things where they welcomed 2 new 3D content artists, and then they give you a discount as well. And I've never seen them do so many in an 8-day period. I think usually they do one a day, maybe one every couple of days, new people. And I think that this was some kind of weird flex, you know. What they're doing is showing that they're either just getting a lot of new artists, or they're taking a lot of artists from Bondware. So some of these names I'm familiar with from elsewhere. And I wonder if what they're doing is they're either saying to Bondware, look, you can play with your little toys, we're taking all your artists. Or if they're saying to Bondware's artists, look, you're better off to be with DAZ. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I think their shares fairly similar, and I think DAZ has a higher quality assurance standard, and your standard of art that you have to do for them is higher. But it is interesting. You know, it was a week of welcoming an awful lot of new artists last week. What do you think? How do you read that? You know, is it something that I've missed in the past where they just do lots and lots of people? Sometimes it's part, you know, look, we got one person. So this is weeks ago, one person, one person, one person, one person, and now they're doing this huge welcome as if you know, what, over the course of 8 days, 16 new artists have come to them, many of whom will have come from Bondware probably. And to my general knowledge, although this is not certain, generally when artists go and work for DAZ, they don't continue to sell elsewhere. So just interesting. You know, what's your take on that? So just I would consider that news and speculation more than anything else. Who knows his situation with Ken? You know, if he's innocent, then my apologies. I don't think he is personally. I think there's something going on. Anyway, you know, I will be reviewing some more of his software soon. I don't generally like to drive custom towards him because I think that Poser was made worse because of him. But on the other hand, he's doing stuff that's useful to you, so I will be reviewing some of his stuff soon. And I'll speak to you again soon. You take care.